Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health and Beauty, where we are documenting our slimming world and health journey and beyond. I'm Lisa.
I'm Rufus.
And today is a health update, a general channel update, and more importantly, a cancer update. So if that's interesting to you, please stay tuned. First things first, this is probably going to be a 15-minute video, so if you need to go and get a coffee, I totally recommend you go and get a coffee. But go get a coffee, go get a snack, come on back, as Rich Lux would say. We're going to just talk about an update, what's been going on with my health, why Rufus suddenly looks like this, all skinny into skinny, and you look very slim now, very slender. You do. You look slender. And so, yeah, we're going to update everything. So the last health update we did was back in August, beginning of August. That video was, we left it where the cancer had been found for the second time again. So quick backtrack for those of you that don't know. Back in September, October last year, I was having some weird symptoms, little bits of tiny bits of specks in my wee. Didn't go for the doctors for that, went because I was having thrush. They then referred me to a urologist about the thrush. He was lovely, wasn't he? And in talking about everything else, he said, right, is there anything else? And I said, oh yeah. I said, is it the thrush that's causing these little bits of tiny bits of almost scab, little bits of blood clot in my wee? And he went, oh no, it shouldn't be. So he sent me for a cystoscopy where they discovered bladder cancer. Then due to a huge monumental fuck up with the NHS, which we can't get into because we have solicitors involved and we're waiting to see what's going on with all of that, there was a massive long delay. So scroll forward, blah, blah, blah. They then sent me for a cystoscopy and saw that there was definitely cancer and booked in a surgery. So I had one surgery, which was a nightmare, lots of bleeding, in hospital for a week, terrible.
I said, bearing in mind, I said from when you first had contact with the hospital, or was it that they'd sent you a letter and it was
can't talk about it.
I'm just saying that there was just literally a matter
6 month gap,
about a 5 to 6 month gap.
6 month gap.
You know, so you were basically delayed.
Yeah, a 6 month delay in cancer treatment, which ain't great, considering I was already having a lot of symptoms there, which are red flags, which we didn't know about. Anyway, so they found the cancer, took me in for surgery, got rid of it. Everything was hunky-dory. Scroll forward about it was about 6 weeks later, I was back in again for a second surgery because they needed to clarify the grade and the stage. And on the second surgery, which I think was in late June, wasn't it? At that point, they basically said, right, just to be sure, we've given you a second big dose of chemo into the bladder and we're going to roll forward from there. So at that point, as we got into July, I had one surgery to get rid of the cancer, one surgery to confirm where it was, 2 bouts of chemo into the bladder. Nothing was supposed to be living in there. Fine. I went off to do my pagan camp, had a interesting time, which is a whole story for probably another video that's never going to get made. But anyway, and then part of that process, I was like, right, I'm looking forward. Summer is here. We can have, the rest of the year. And at some point it might come back, but we're super positive. I'll be doing YouTube again. I'll be, doing other bits and pieces. We were helping out with a voluntary organisation, weren't we?
I don't know what the percentage of people that they said that, some people will have the treatment and it may never come back. And that's just...
Most people it does.
Very small amount. Is it a small amount of people?
Tiny people it doesn't. Yeah, most people it does. But we were like, okay, it might come back at some point. But right now, in June, July, August, September, with cancer clear, we can make plans, we can do some travelling, we can go and see your folks, we can do all of these wonderful things, and we can have a bit of a normal life without having cancer hanging over our heads. On the 3rd of August, that all changed when I had the cystoscopy and they found that the cancer had come back. Now, that was scary. The fact that it came back so suddenly in a new place in the bladder, that was really scary, wasn't it? And what I now realise, and I didn't realise at the time because I thought I was fine, but what I now realise is that sent my mental health into the fucking toilet. Swirling, spiralling, covered in shit. It really was bad. and it's had huge knock-on effects. The fact that I've still got cancer, the fact that they basically said we're going to leave you for 3 months and then do a follow-up cystoscopy was really tough, because it was like living with the fact that my body is growing cancer and I don't know how fast or what to do about it. So that was really tough, and it started to impact everything. So my binge eating kicked back in. My fibro has been just horrendous, hasn't it, since August?
Through all of it, little did we know that the day surgery ward that you were going to for obviously your treatment, basically probably a few minutes just round the corner, literally
opposite,
a few minutes, or not even a couple of minutes walk away,
across
was
the
literally road. Was Maggie's
the cancer care
charity. Like I say, they do counselling, they do loads of things.
It's literally across the
road.
road.
You think that they maybe would have had leaflets and things in that part of the hospital where a lot of people go for sort of basic cancer, I don't know, checkups and various things.
Or just one of the cancer nurses, the bladder nurses, could have said, have you been across the road?
Literally, like I say, you come out the side of the building, there's not even 2 minute walk, and
it's across the road, and you're there. Literally, it's where it is. Anyway, so my mental health was bad. We'd had a few wibbles, didn't we? Because I was grumpy and grouchy, and also I think you needed a bit of support, and I think you still need a bit of support, to be honest with you. And it was just one of those difficult times, and eventually, after going through a few weeks where my weight at Slimming World was going up and up, and I was binging, and everything was just crap, and everything was feeling quite dark, I basically went, I need some help. And I found that this place, Maggie's, existed. So I walked in and I basically went, well, you dropped me off, didn't you? And I basically went, yeah, hi, I need some help because, and then I just cried. I just cried and cried and cried. And that was probably about 2 months ago now. And since then, I've been getting some support from one of their counsellors, who is
once a week,
fucking amazing. Once a week. He's absolutely amazing. And that's not just been about the cancer. It's been about everything else. Because obviously, cancer is one thing, but it impacts on everything. And it really has impacted on me. It's made me look at my own mortality, like whether or not I can have toxic people in my life, like my sibling, what my future may well be, the fact that I kind of probably have a slightly more limited lifespan ahead of me than I would do if I didn't have the cancer. All of these things that I think about that you don't like thinking about, do you?
You spoke to your sibling anyway, obviously, just to make them aware of what's going on.
Just to say, look, I've got this cancer, and because we've got a lot of cancer in the family, like, you need to get this checked to see whether you've got the BRCA gene. But anyway, so that was all going on. The counselling's been amazing, not just about the cancer, as I say, but about like a lot of internalized stuff that I've been going through, issues around being trans, issues around the eating disorder, issues around the fact that I'm an R-word survivor. You know what that word is. It's the word I can't use on YouTube. All of that and all of those implications and all of those repercussions and everything that's kind of I've gone through in my life, and it's been quite intense at times, but amazing. And it's really helping me to put things into context and helping me just to have a place where I cry. I've now learned not to do my eyeliner or mascara when I go, because invariably it runs down my face and I end up looking like I'm auditioning for Kiss or Alice Cooper or something, which isn't a good look. But yeah, that's been tough. There's been a couple of things. We're now doing a little bit of work for a voluntary charity, doing a little bit of volunteering to try and take my mind off things.
I think that's helped a bit though.
Yeah, it keeps my mind active. It really does. It keeps me... What I found is if I sit at home, I start worrying and I start dwelling and not being able to plan things, which is a major problem. But at least if I am doing something and I'm active, then it means I haven't got time to sit and think about me and what I'm going through. Or food and anything else. And to be fair, like during the day I'm normally fine. It's normally during the evenings where like you'll go into bed and go on the PlayStation and I'll normally sit in here and like do the PlayStation. But that's normally where I'd be editing YouTube. But one of the things that has happened, as whether it's a result of the cancer or whether it's a result of the stress, I am constantly tired. So my fibro has really kicked in. I am so tired all the time, 24/7. Now, one of the reasons for that is that I no longer sleep. I will go to bed, and 2.5 hours later I'm awake, and every 2.5 hours I'm awake having to pee. And that's really annoying, isn't it? I don't know whether, like, sometimes I disturb you, sometimes I don't. But it doesn't matter whether I stop drinking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock or have a drink at like 2 in the morning. It doesn't matter. My bladder just decides it's night time. Every hour, every 2.5 hours.
Even when you was in hospital, you tried that for a little while, and
it doesn't do it, does it?
No, so that's why.
So
gave you some pills, haven't they?
Yeah, they gave me some pills, which for 3 months didn't work. We tried them. The doctor's now upped the dose to see whether I can actually, like, my bladder will calm down a little bit. I'm not worried about that. It's the not sleeping that's been a problem. So that's been an absolute nightmare. My ADHD brain has been twirling around and focusing and fixating on things.
You're thinking all sorts of things at God knows what hour.
Which means I just can't shut my brain down, which is another problem.
And then they give you some sleeping pills now.
Yeah, so I've got some sleeping pills, so I'm going to try that, not tonight because we need to get up early in the morning, but next week, tomorrow.
You said have a few days, if you can't sleep properly and you need a really good night, then take one. And
so that's what we've got to do now. So yeah, I've got an ADHD assessment booked for 2024 or 5. It's going to be 2 or 3 years away. Useful, I know. Great, thanks.
I realised you had that a long time ago.
Yeah.
When, you know, it'd be like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up to go to the toilet or something, and Lisa will go, oh, you know what, I thought this great thing, and it's, I'm like, but it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you'll be like, I'll go for a wee. And I'm going, I've got a really good idea. What if we do this? This will be really good. And actually, this is how we can make it work. And if I contact these people, I might just get up and do an email now.
Yeah.
Really bad. Really bad. But anyway. So, scroll forward to where we are now. Actually, no. I tell you what. Would you like to say to everybody watching how all of this has impacted you?
I've been quite stressed, I think, a bit. Like I say, not knowing some days if it's going to be a good day or a bad day, or but like I say, I think things have been a bit better when there's a little bit more structure to life, like as in like trying to go to bed by a certain time, and then sort of just making sure you have your appointments.
Go to bed at a certain time and play GTA San Andreas for 4 hours.
Yes, that's very important. It is my relaxation time.
It is.
But yeah, just in general, I think, and that you getting sort of see a counsellor and stuff every week, I think that's helped a lot. Because like I say, just you should, you know, go through and talk about all of what's been going on or whatever, and obviously they understand a lot more about everything, don't they? So
it's a bit like a steam valve on a pressure cooker. It's just taking that little extra pressure off, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Like I was saying, I think now if you end up sort of eating a load of things, because sometimes you might eat a load of things that are not on plan, on, you know, not on part of the living world, and then you will like maybe tell me like maybe 4 or 5 days later, oh, I had that and I didn't tell you about it, and then that tends to happen after I've gone to bed, but I don't think it's been as bad. Sometimes you'll tell me that day or something, or I had a couple of those, or I didn't want any, I just had the one, I didn't have any more than one of something. There might have been a few sins each or whatever, and you could have like eaten a whole packet of something, but you didn't. So I think that's been a little bit better. It's not been as bad as it had been for a little while now. So.
Hi, this is Lisa. You're watching Beyond Authentic Health and Beauty. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps us out with YouTube's algorithm. And then hit that subscribe button and make sure you have dinged your bell and changed your settings to all. That way YouTube should notify you each and every time we upload a video. But if you'd like to support us in this channel just a little bit more, you can always go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can, in fact, buy us a coffee. That's also where full details of our brand new Coffee Club Crew memberships are, including exclusive members only content. Thank you so much to those of you who are choosing to support us. 2019, I was due my surgery, lower surgery, so a vaginoplasty. Getting the stove taken out and a chimney put in. That's what I always say, isn't it? And that got cancelled within 4 days because my blood sugar was too high, which was a whole thing.
our diet at that point wasn't fantastic.
It wasn't great.
No,
it wasn't
but-
bad, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't like it is now, where we eat 90% vegan meals.
Yeah.
But it got cancelled, and so I was on track to get that. Which should have happened this year.
Yeah.
But obviously with cancer, especially with cancer in that region, they're not going to do surgery.
Yeah,
so
it's too close to.
yeah, to everything. So 6 months ago, they said, look, we're not going to throw you off the gender list. We'll
Just
delay it 6 months and see what's happening and see where we are.
Yeah.
And of course, at that point, I had the phone call, about a month ago? Yeah, I think so. And basically said to them, look, you've got no option. You're going to have to kick me off the list. Which was really tough.
So we spoke about it, didn't we, before it even happened? But obviously it's just a shock.
Well, I've got to be all clear from cancer before I can have that done, which means not having cancer in my body for 2 years. So there's no point my sitting on a waiting list for the next 2.5 years at least, waiting to have my surgery, when somebody else potentially with a lower BMI and without a cancer hanging over them, they could get in and not quite out, but they could be like virtually through the service in that time scale. And it's just not fair for me to sit on there. So I basically said to my lead clinician, look, I can't, in all faith, I can't still be on your list. It's like, I know I could, and I know like she really didn't want to kick me off after everything that's happened in my journey. It's been 11 years on this journey, so she really didn't want to kick me off. But I said, look, you've got no choice. I said, either we do this now, or it'll be 6 months or a year down the line, and you'll have to do it. Your bosses will make you. So, like, let's just do this.
I don't know the time scale it takes as well, because, like I say, maybe a year or so ago, maybe it take like 6 months to be fast tracked. So if they take you off and then, you know, getting back to it, so basically your GP then refers you back to them. And last time I did that, because I had to come off for a short time, it then took me 6 months to get back to the point of having my the next appointment that I got. About 6 months, 7 months.
It's about 18 months now. So when you add in 2.5 years from now at minimum to be cancer clear, and then 2 years, you're looking at 4 years away before I'm even going to be able to have an appointment with them at the earliest. So that's been tough to deal with as well. So there's been a lot going on. But we're still here. We're still ticking. We're still going. I'm going to try and do my lives on YouTube. I can't guarantee we're going to be doing lots of Slimming World content. We want to, but getting everything set up is fine. Recording is fine, but then it's the editing and stuff. And where I'm so tired at the moment, just having time to edit is really difficult. But I'm going to try and still do the live on a Sunday on the Tarot channel, and at least hopefully every week the Get Ready with me on this channel, because I really enjoy doing it. And that can include our weight loss update. But on that, for regular viewers and those of you that know us in person, you will have seen quite an intense change in Rufus. Do you want to say what the award was that you achieved last Wednesday?
My 13 stone.
Sorry, say again.
13 stone award.
So Rufus has now lost over 13 stone. 13 stone 2 as of Wednesday last week.
£1,
13 stone 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
So that is amazing. That is like a whole person that he's dropped.
Did they say it was a 72 or 73?
72. 72 weeks. Yeah, 72 weeks. Which is phenomenal. It works out £2.5 on average every single week that you've been losing.
So I'm like like a stone, 1 stone, £2 away from losing my 50% of my weight,
which is just phenomenal. But your health's a lot better now, isn't it? Like your asthma's still a bit dicky, but everything else,
my back's still a bit weird as well. Like I say, if I've like been doing too much or try lifting certain things, and that I then put my back out, so that's been like that for the last few weeks.
Been a bit dicky.
So I've had like a sharp, I don't know, dodgy nerve right in the bottom of my bum cheek that's been just setting me off all week. Like I say, I try and lift something and try and walk with something in my hands, and my body's like, nope. Sharp pain down my back of my leg and that. It's like, nope. So I've had to be really careful what I do and what I pick up. And
But you're still, I think you're a hell of a lot better now than you would be if you hadn't lost that 13 stone. God,
I am.
Can't imagine what it would be like.
Asthma's still a bit up and down, and but I think that's just post-COVID. So I mean, no sense of smell, taste properly. So that's like, unless it's really something with a lot of spice, I don't really taste much of it. But I like radishes. They're nice.
Yeah, and only 24 calories per bag, apparently. As you say to me every time you eat a bag
200 grams. 100 grams is 12 calories.
Yeah. So yeah, so we're still ticking. Yeah. We're still going on. I'm back to what, 3 stone 4, I think, on Slimming World. So still trying to plug along.
It's just been, like I say, it's been a long journey, isn't it, so far?
Very long journey.
Up and down, and but as long as you keep, you know, standing up, getting weighed, getting checked up, you know, being accountable, then you know where you are, and you could do so much more damage. If, like I say, if you was trying to, you know, just get by at the Slimming World and just turning up and being accountable, you know, and talking to other people there, I think that helps a bit, because it's like, if you didn't go, what damage could you do? I could
self-destruct. I really could. So yeah, so basically, I've now got a cystoscopy booked. we've had to run around with the doctors. Yeah, tomorrow. Wednesday coming, day after tomorrow. So I've had to, we've had to get doctor's appointments. They've done all of my blood tests. There's no infection, no nothing else. And even speaking to the woman from urology today, she was like, oh, well, it could be an infection. Have you been to the doctors? I said, yes, I've done all that, done all the bloods. They've tested me for everything. They've tested my urine. They've done everything they possibly can. And she went, oh, well, I'll have to check with the doctors if you're telling me they're going to do it. They've done an expedition letter. I said, well, they have. Yeah. So then she rang back and was ever so nice. Again, it's that same woman. When she rang back, she was ever so nice. She was like, oh, well, Lisa, I can see that, yes, they have sent an expedition letter, and we are going to do that. So can you come in on Wednesday? So hopefully we'll have an update of what's going on a little bit later this week. So I will film that update. Yeah. But this is really the whole saga in the last 3 months up to where we are now, and why the channels have been so quiet. I'm gutted that I missed Halloween. There was so much I planned to do, wasn't there? I've still got contact lenses for makeup looks, and there's special tarot decks I bought for Halloween and everything that next year they'll still be here.
As well as that, I said one thing that I kept querying on your last camera checkup was that obviously they said, oh, you've got the 2 tiny little growths going, you know, obviously starting maybe 5mm growths or whatever, 2 of them. And as well, you know, okay, we can see that's in your bladder, but actually we'll see you in 3 months' time, and they just do nothing, and you're just left to, I think, well, why can't they use the chemo liquid?
Why didn't they give me a chemo liquid?
Just flush it through and that'd be gone again. Well, why let it grow so that, you know, you might get to a point where, okay, we have to have a surgery. You know,
it seems really weird. But again, we'll ask all those questions when we're in.
Ask them, I think, because, like I say, I don't understand what.
And maybe our lawyers can ask them, because we've got lawyers on the case from what happened, you know, first time round. So maybe they can ask and find out what's going on. But it does seem a bit weird, that. But anyway, thank you for joining us for this long update. That's where we are. That's everything that's been going on. In other news, the doggies are fine. We've got 2 new pets. We've got 2 new, what are they? African stick insects. African, is that what they were? So we've got a boy and a girl stick insect. They are amazing, but they just look like leaves, but they're very funny. So we might take some pictures and insert them in here on the YouTube version of this video. And bless us, when we saw the stick insect in the pet shop, one of them has a missing leg. So of course, instantly, silly old me, I was instantly like, well, we have to take that one home. That has to be the one that comes home with us, because she's missing a leg.
Yeah, but surprisingly, very strange that they can grow a leg back.
Yeah, she's going to grow a leg back at some point.
If it falls off, it could just grow back.
I know, right? We should call it cancer. Things drop off and then it still grows back. But anyway, there's been lots of gallows humour as well with us recently. Lots of gallows humour. And especially with my friend Neil, who is very much like me, like takes the piss out about this sort of stuff. But yeah, literally takes the piss. Bladder cancer takes the piss, see. But it's been very funny. But yeah. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging on in there, watching this all the way through to the end. That's going to be it from us for this video. I will update you after Wednesday. I don't think it'll be Wednesday daytime. It might be, but I don't know when, or depending on what they find and where we are from there. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please do the likey, subscribey, ring the belly things, all of that. Do all of that. And if you haven't already, and you would like to support us and this channel a little bit more, you can go over to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can, in fact, buy us a coffee. That's it from us. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.